Hello, everybody. It is Sunday, June 26th, and I am privileged to be here with you today to discuss impulsivity, spontaneity, weight loss versus maintenance, how to navigate this summer really successfully, where you feel like you're doing what you're supposed to be doing when you're supposed to be doing it and fully present. So today we're going to talk. You guys are going to share. I'm going to answer your questions. But before we start, I just wanted to share something that has been happening for me, and I've been hearing happen for a lot of other people these days, is we're in a great place. We're feeling good for the moment. We feel like we have things together, and then something else happens. Something that we plan changes, something that we are expecting doesn't go as expected. There's a strike, or somebody has COVID, or somebody's exposed, or somebody's something, or things happening with one of our kids that we find out about. All of these things that are happening that are throwing us off our plan. And tell you what happened to me this week was I felt like I finally was focused on what I need to be focused on at work and starting to clean up my time so that I could be focused with my kids when they were home. I set out my schedule, and I'm going to be at work in the morning, and I'm going to get all of this stuff done, and then I'm going to be able to be with the kids in the afternoon, and I'm going to prepare for August and July and summer vacation, and I finished Fire and Flow, and I feel great. And then there's a strike. And I got no work done, it felt like, for 4 days. And as things are going, I'm getting more and more stressed.
Wait, pause. US people last week was a little bit hellish here because there was a school strike for elementary school and kindergarten ages. So everybody had their kids.
Right. And just when you weren't expecting it. And it started out with, oh, we're just going to strike till 10 a.m. So you're just not going to start on time. And then it escalated to all day. And so I felt like it was really the perfect storm of, we have this expectation. Okay, I'm going to prepare. I'm going to make a menu, right? I'm going to set a plan. I know what I need to do, and I know I can get it done. And then other people's decisions change everything for us. How do we cope with that? And what does that have to do with going into the summer, knowing if you're in weight loss mode or if you're in maintenance mode, and enjoying wherever you are? So I want to take a second and ask everybody to use the chat and write in WL if you are currently in weight loss mode, and write in maintenance M for maintenance if you're in maintenance mode. How do you know what you are? If you are actually losing weight, put WL. If you are up and down in the same 2 to 3 pound range week to week, put an M. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And there are more people on the call that have answered.
I'm reading them. I'm waiting. I see people are doing it.
I know. No, I know. I'm telling everybody that hasn't answered yet.
Yep. Okay. So how many of you who wrote M are actually happy and enjoying and loving and feeling like, I'm free, I love it, I'm appreciative every day, I love maintenance mode. Maintenance mode is the bomb. Put a 1 if you're feeling like maintenance mode is the bomb, and put a 2 if you feel like you're just feeling at weight loss mode.
Put a 2 if you want, if what?
If you feel like you're just feeling
at weight loss.
You're not actually enjoying maintenance.
Wait, Lily, I want you to expand upon a little bit in terms of time frame.
Yeah, I will.
Because if you've been in the same mode, meaning like, no, I'm saying even for this, like if you feel like you're feeling a weight loss mode, but 2 weeks ago you still lost, but like the last 5 days, maybe not, then I would still consider
No,
that weight
still,
loss.
that's a 2. Like if you're
Oh.
feeling today, like you're failing, like your maintenance is really just failing at weight loss, and you're not like, oh no, like I'm so happy. Like I am appreciative that this is my number. And I love this zone. And bingo. Okay. So I think we see a lot of 2s. And this is really kind of what I want to start with. And this is the topic of today's call from the beginning. And it's something that if I've been where you are too many times. I've been where you are. So I'm not coming here and saying, I have all my stuff together. And you should all be like me, because I have so many times over the last 6 years and over the last 3 years, almost 4 years in maintenance, felt like you are, felt like, okay, I'm trying to be in weight loss mode, but I'm really in maintenance mode and I'm really not enjoying it. And that's where there's this constant feeling of frustration. I want weight loss mode and I'm not getting it. I'm in maintenance, but I'm in denial. So I want to kind of close the gap for you guys for what I had to really learn the hard way. Are we on board for that today? Would you guys like that? If I could just like shorten the learning span here for you of what I had to like slog through a million self-help books and meditations and hours of journaling to get to, right? Can we just like close the learning gap? What I wish I would have told my younger self 6 years ago, 4 years ago. You have played it, right? Everybody knows plated here on this call. Anybody here new and not know what plated is? Plated is this amazing way that we look at our food, where half of our plate is vegetables. Anybody who has a background noise, do me a favor and mute yourself, just so that if you want to talk, please feel free to unmute, but just if you don't have background noise. So to shorten the gap is you have this amazing thing called plated, and that's no carbs at night, and it's half your plate veggies, and it's half your plate veggies at snack time, and it's having protein at every meal and drinking loads of water. And that's what plated is. And that's weight loss mode. But you know what else it is? As you get to where you're in a happy place, it's also how we tell where our gratitude and appreciation is. What does that mean? Every bite I take at this point now that is a carb at dinner, even if it's pumpkin, even if it's some corn on the cob, even if it's a crisp, juicy apple, and it's at dinner or later, I am so appreciative. I am so grateful. I am not at all tied to expecting a weight loss the next day. If I have ice cream cone during the week, a kid size, or a few bites of chocolate, I am so grateful. I am so appreciative. I feel so free around food, and I have no expectation that there's going to be a weight loss the next day. When I'm having 3 plated meals a day, and my snacktional is either more water of some form or protein and vegetables, I look forward to a weight loss the next day. Even if it's 400 grams, 100 grams, quarter of a pound, I know if I'm drinking my water and that's what I'm doing, I'm going to see a weight loss the next day. And I'm so happy and appreciative that I get to eat yummy, delicious food and see a weight loss the next day. If I'm having extra accessories at my meals, meaning that I'm not just having, if I'm having over 100 calories of accessories at my meals, I'm so grateful. I'm so appreciative. I feel like I'm luxuriating and indulging in my food, but I don't expect a weight loss the next day. The sound of crickets is totally coming from my garden. Sorry, but I live in nature. I live in the middle of nowhere. If anybody did not know that, you will hear birds chirping in the morning and crickets at night.
Okay, I was just like, okay, I know we all are muted and nobody has background noise, and it sounds.
I don't even hear it because I live in the middle of nowhere and this is nature. I have birds chirping in the morning. I have crickets at night. I'd love to
I'm
hear.
a Manhattan girl. Crickets is not like a nice sound for me. It's like,
Oh, it's like trains for people who live in the city. Don't even hear. So guys, I want you just to get your feedback for a sec. Where is that landing with you? That we have two stages. And this is something I have done so much internal work on to get here. I'm not like saying it like, oh, and it's so easy. But really, if you're eating Plate It and you're eating anything outside of Plate It, what are you not enjoying? I'm going to put that out there. What accessories are you not enjoying? What bites, licks, and tastes between your meals are you really not enjoying enough that you would appreciate them? What choices are you making at dinner and after that you are really just doing because it's there? It's not something that is bringing you joy to where you are like totally not expecting a weight loss the next day. And I want to pause here before I touch on the other topics, which is impulsivity versus spontaneity, having a sense of urgency versus a sense of this joy and appreciation. That is really key to having the best possible summer. So let's hear some volunteers here. Unmute yourself or ask in the chat, okay? When I say something like that, when you hear that, oh, there's Plate It and anything outside of Plate It is an opportunity for gratitude. How does that feel? Where is the resistance? Or is there none? Just like feels absolutely true.
I'll unmute, and while you all think about that, because I think Lily and I really want you all to answer it, because I'm quite sure you all have something in your head, but maybe, I don't know, in this very, very safe space. Just, I'll give you a moment or two to think, to think about it before you open your mouth, and I'll open my mouth first. I can say for myself, when you put it that way, almost like I'd love to be able to, like, if I was able to have one bite of something, right? Like a perfect example for me was like, I really felt like I nailed Shabbos this week. It was that perfect combination of the right mindset, not like hard on myself, you can't eat it. I was able to go into Shabbos in a calm way, experience joy, even though company and family and all those things were so often, as so many of you know, that's like a downward, like difficult thing for me, or sharing food because of joy. And I really did. But at some point in the evening, there were covered, all these specialty covered nuts. And I was like, okay, I'm going to have one. I still can't. 5.5 years later, like that's one of those things, like when Alana says, not everything is meant to be in moderation, she doesn't mean that the same thing for everybody. That's, you have to know yourself, what for you currently is not in moderation. So for me, when you ask that question, do you appreciate, are you able to have the gratitude around that? No, I would if I was able to have one or two chalva covered pecans. That would then be appreciation and gratitude. And then that feeling was not there when I found myself going back more, and that internal, what are you doing? You should stop. Are you having more? Oh, is it really okay? How bad is it going to really be? Is it really going to affect the scale that much? I'm sure you guys have all been there. Like, really?
Yeah.
Really? This is what's going to make the difference?
So I'm going to stop you right there just because I want to repeat the question, because people ask me to repeat the question. The question is, when I say that I've had to do so much work on myself to get to the point that I want you to all get to, and I'm going to try to do my best to shorten that learning curve till you are significantly closer to this at the end of this hour, if you play full out. If you play full out, because I can't make the change for you. But the mindset shift is every single bite outside of Plate It is something I'm deeply grateful and appreciative for, and I am unhooking from any expectation of a weight loss on the scale. I'm completely disassociated from any expectation of outcome.
I think that goes hand in hand. I think that expectation, when we use sometimes the word entitlement, and I think that does, people who struggle with Shabbos, weekends, events, or things like that, that sense of, you know, like what Lily's saying, like being able to separate, if you can have that challah, that even I only had one brownie, not 5 when I usually have 5, and I also only picked the fruit instead of this. If you're able to completely, like Lily said, unhook and appreciate what you did eat outside of Plate It, because that's outside of Plate It. Treat, not cheat, is not necessarily in Plate It unless all these amazing recipes that Alana makes for us are that. That's what she tries to do. The peanut butter pie, if it works for you, the this, the that, so many other recipes when it's part of Plate It. So I think if you're having a hard time understanding the question, you can.
I just want to hold space for the question to sink in,
Yeah.
and like give people a second of like to just think about it. Anything out of Plate It that you're eating, are you feeling really grateful and appreciative of? And are you unhooking from weight loss expectations? From extra accessories to treats, bites, licks, and tastes. So who would like to address it? Go ahead, Jen.
I would say I'm more like sometimes in I yell at space of like this one bite of kishka is gonna like that's gonna be a problem. Like this one bite of like a taste of like so this one little taste of a meringue pie that's gonna like make like a teeny tiny bite like that's gonna make or break me.
So I want to pause you right there because I love everything Ayala said, but I want you not to use her words or her experience. I want you to sit in your experience for a sec and say, when you are eating, you personally, out of Plate It, what's the difference between when you've been like, oh my gosh, this is so wonderful, I'm so appreciative of the way I'm eating and the way I'm living, and like, versus, this probably won't matter. This shouldn't matter. This shouldn't matter.
So when I'm eating Plate It and eating good foods, like, you know, I yell knows I've had a lot of events recently and a lot of eating out and enjoying. I've had weight loss days where I've enjoyed a really good steak and had a really good Plate It and felt that's like, I would say that's when I feel like the best. And that whole idea of like comfort food and good, not comfort, good food should feel good. And I've really worked to embrace that. And I feel like very good about that piece. I guess that's where I'm holding.
Isn't that amazing? So you see how you like when we get out of that other talk, that other conversation, we just don't even go there for a minute. All of a sudden you found that sense of appreciation and gratitude. You're like, actually, I've been to so many events where I was Plate It and I already felt I didn't even need a treat to feel that sense of I love, and I had a weight loss the next day because I was Plate It. Even if it was a more indulgent Plate It, I did it the next day. Now give it to go sink into like a memory of when you ate something outside of Plate It and it wasn't that enjoyable. It was almost like a throwaway, like this shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter because it's not even that good. It's like not even enough to matter. It's not enough to enjoy. So it definitely shouldn't affect the scale, but you're still really tied into it should be lower tomorrow.
That for sure happens.
Right?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. There's moments where I'm like, right, like I believe that these actions should be, I should still be okay eating these things. Absolutely. There are moments. Absolutely.
And so let's take away the words, I should still be okay. You are okay. You're always okay. You just are not in alignment with seeing weight loss. You are great. You are amazing. You didn't do anything bad. You didn't ruin anything. You just were not in alignment with weight loss. And you're choosing to be okay with that. That's the nikuda that took me so much work on myself that I want to shorten the learning curve for you guys today by being super clear without the distractions of the stories we tell ourselves, but to come down to what's true. Have you had an experience where you've had something after dinner or something extra birthday celebration event where even in a small quantity, you were so satisfied and enjoyed it without an expectation that it was still going to be a weight loss day.
I
Can I
can,
share something?
Yeah.
You
Jen,
can go
wanna
ahead.
take
You can
that
go
in?
ahead.
Jen, you look frozen. Do you have anything you want to share?
No, I'm just thinking. I'm actually, I'm like, no, I'm in thought. No, go ahead.
Okay, we're gonna come back to
Melissa.
you, and I want to take Melissa, okay? Guys, do me a favor, and if someone else is on their turn, put your hand up on by where it says reactions, raise a hand, and I'll come to you. I want to get as many of you enough chance to share as possible. Melissa, go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, I didn't know that I was supposed to do that.
Not enough.
No, so it's interesting. So as you're saying this and asking these questions, I'm noticing that most of my foods that I'm eating outside of Plate It are not things that I feel satisfied by. It's more of like this feeling of I'm doing this to myself again, like just compounded little bites here and there of things that I'm just like passing by and I'm like thinking about and they don't leave my brain. Like yesterday I was thinking about chocolate the whole day. And I tried to have a little bite of like my breakfast brownie chocolate things, but I really didn't satisfy it because it wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. So at the end, I ended up having some chocolate, but like it's these little bites that I'm realizing like, oh, a cracker here, a this here. Like it doesn't make me feel good and satisfied. It makes me feel just like frustrated with myself. And when you ask this last question, like when I am doing Plate It and I allow myself to have like a certain amount of a good treat, let's say if I like measured out a tablespoon of chocolate chips and like that was my snack or like my special treat, like that satisfied me, not like running around from thing to thing trying to satisfy this this craving that I'm having. And instead I'm realizing like I just have a lot of these bites and tastes, but I feel almost like out of control of it. You know, I feel like I guess I am like that victim of like my choices. So it's interesting because this call, I guess, is highlighting the fact that like I really have to get on board with like having to Plate It and then making the conscious decision to have like a snack if I really want a treat, to actually feel like I can control myself with the portion and just sit and actually enjoy the chocolate, not just like rushing through the chocolate chips because I'm so like frustrated by myself that I just keep going and going and going. Instead, if I like savor each individual chocolate chip and just like slow it down, like maybe that could help me. But it's interesting that you're bringing this up. So I just wanted to thank you.
My pleasure, and thank you for sharing so beautifully and vulnerably, and you really spoke that out so beautifully. Do I have permission to give you one kind of mindset tweak?
Yeah, please.
When you said I'm out of control for myself or I need to pull it together, let's kind of like move away from that language because that's not respectful to yourself. You're amazing. You're coming to this awareness all on your own. And it's more, I'm worthy of, I deserve to actually have the thing that I want instead of take the easiest thing to grab, like the most convenient thing and rush it. It's like, no, I can enjoy where I'm at, even if it's for today, and realize that every single day, and this is where we're going to get into next, which is impulsivity versus spontaneity. When we keep our plates clean, our tracker clean, I'm going to give you an example here. I have a tracker. And you guys saw, anybody who was in the group, you can go look at what my fire and flow results were from this month. That ends in the same week. I also had 12 ice cream cones in the middle of the week this month. Okay. So it's really, but my trackers are very, can you see here? There's not a lot of writing. Okay. Child's ice cream cone, this flavor. It's not, there are no more random grabbing of bites, licks, and tastes anymore in my tracker. And that creates space to have things I really want when I want them without ever having a weight gain. And that's what I want you guys to see for the summer, is when you have that sense of urgency, which we're going to get to in a minute, where you can just say, I don't even want that. Like, I love this and I'm getting weight loss, versus, ooh, I want to leave space on this vacation at this event to have something truly incredible and amazing if it comes my way. Okay, anybody else have something to share on this concept of anything outside of Plate It? Am I actually pausing to really enjoy this? Vita, you're nodding your head yes. Okay, Jen, I'm going to come back to you and then we're going to go to Vita. Jen, go ahead. Share what came into mind now.
So I had a wedding. Oh my God, it's so many events, but there was a wedding recently. And something I happen to really enjoy is chocolate molten cake. I love like the warm, that's like something that's enjoyable to me. And at the end of the wedding, they brought it out and I said to my husband, please, can you get it for me? I had 3 bites of it, enjoyed it, and was conscious, like I will not have a weight loss day and I'm totally okay with it. But I didn't eat the whole thing. I enjoyed it and it was yummy. And I still even remember it. Like I very much remember being present and aware that I was eating it and making a choice, and it's enjoyable to me. So yes, I have experience. I had to think about it, but yes, I have experienced those moments of enjoying, recognizing, and being in the moment, and then
So
being okay.
how would it feel to you if your life was that steak meal at the event or the molten chocolate cake, and you just could let go of the days in between that are just mindless there?
And that would be ideal. That would be fabulous.
That's what I call your ideal weight mindset. It's when we're comparing each day. Is this steak worthy? Is this molten hot cake worthy? If it's not, it's just not worth it. It's not do I need this eating opportunity? It's just not even in my realm of like how I want to live my life. I'm so appreciative that I have these 2 options. The 2 options I have are I could be having this steak dinner and weight loss, or I could be having this molten chocolate cake and not be gaining. How would that change your perspective?
I'm working on it. Like I just even like over Shabbos, there was, they served dessert and they had parv. I mean, I like ice cream, but parv ice cream, it does not taste good or worth it. And I was very much like, it is so not worth it because it's like chemical, it tastes like chemicals.
You're a 10 now, not when you hit your weight goal. You're a 10 now. If this dessert treat bite of chocolate chips is not a 10, does not pass these lips. I'm a 10. I'm a 10. Vita, you had something to share.
I just came from going out to eat with my grandchildren, and I had a Plate It at dinner with salmon and salad and veggies and everything in Seder. And then I did make a conscious decision to have a milkshake shared with one of the kids, vanilla milkshake, and I enjoyed it. And I have no qualms. And I remember this pattern before because I've gone out to eat with them before, and I've done it before. And if everything else is going well that day, then I can still expect a weight loss tomorrow, even though I split a milkshake. Because between exercise and water, then I felt pretty confident. And I accept whatever is tomorrow morning is, and I accept it because I enjoyed it. And I still feel very confident that I did stay on the program with everything else.
Amazing. So, and the only change I'm making is at this point, I also know that if I'm on my 9-inch plate, 3 meals a day with some extra raw veggies in there, I have a treat. I might get a weight loss the next day, but I might not. It could depend on what time I ate it. It could depend on how much water I drank that day. It could depend on sleep. Depending on what time I weigh in tomorrow. But I don't have any fear or anxiety about getting on the scale the next day. But I'm also not tied to disappointment or frustration or rechanging how I felt about what I had if I don't get the weight loss. So I think that's a great point you're bringing in there for us to think about.
I have to add that this is just a personal thing at the moment, that I have a problem with eating veggies right now. due
Because
to
of your
dental
teeth.
issues. So carrots and kohlrabi and all the things I love and that are crunchy and I like the crunch, I can't deal with them. So I try to compensate in other ways. Sometimes I'll, have a soup or something, but tonight was not one of those nights. So I tried to balance it out in other ways.
Really smart, and we're with you and we're supporting you while you're going through this. And yeah, soups are really good also. You can try, they have also like bakes, like spinach with some eggs baked in it that's like really, really soft. That's a great one, and kind of things like that. Can also like a cauliflower bake that's pureed or cauliflower puree.
Right.
Those can be really yummy and just kind of give you a different texture. And there's also like a cold cauliflower kind of creamy soup out there, a few things like that can help.
I've made a vegetable quiche.
Yes.
All the vegetables in it, basically onions.
And were you
and
able to
beets.
chew that?
Yeah, because it was already well cooked. I mean, the carrots were well cooked,
Yes.
so it's a lot easier.
So
that's my-
put that in your prep for this week and
So
let us know how it goes.
basically, yeah, I make a whole tray of it and then I can just keep it in the fridge and take a section of it.
And you should be really proud of yourself, or even when, again, we have our expectation, but I love veggies. I'm eating veggies. You've lost so much weight. You've been in your goal range already for a while now. And then this thing happens. You have to go through all this dental stuff, right? Like that's exactly what we're talking about now, is it doesn't have to be the reason it throws you off. It just can be a place to pause.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
how can I adjust? So thank you for being a great example of that. Does anybody else have something to share? Rena, or would you guys like to move on to, yes, Rena, go ahead. And then if we want, we can move on to impulsivity versus spontaneity. Go for it.
I think part of my frustration, I really try not to be negative, is when I could have 4 or 5 consecutive days where I'm doing plate it and I'm looking forward to that weight loss on the scale, and it just doesn't happen. And that it's just, if I lost 100 grams a day, every day, it's so much better than losing 500 grams in one day. Like I need to see progress, and sometimes it just doesn't happen, and it's so frustrating. That's where I am.
Thank you, first of all, for speaking what so many of us have felt over time and so many times. Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
How close are you to your goal?
Like around 4 or 5 kilo away.
Okay. So for the rest of your life, can you see yourself in the situation we've been talking about today, where you're still eating plated and any bites, licks, tastes, accessories, things outside of plated are full on pleasure, gratitude, appreciation only, and you will never see a change on the scale, maybe up or down 100 grams, 200 grams, 300 grams, like a kilo. This is gonna be your life.
I can accept that. I can accept that, but I can't accept never getting to my goal.
Good, good. So
I've been here so long, like over a year, and it's like it's there and I can't grab it.
So I'm not your coach. I can't, I would say you have an amazing coach. Send her your trackers. I challenge you, your 5 days of trackers, okay? And have her give you feedback on, or put them in the group. I'll give you, all the coaches will give you feedback on where unconsciously you might have your version of plated. And this is one of those gaps that I had to get over, was I had my version of plated. My version of plated for a very long time was not a 9-inch plate. It was a serving size salad bowl for a family. And I would eat from that salad bowl. I did not put it onto a plate and then take seconds and more short. I just ate from a serving size salad bowl. I ate from 3 or 4 plates without pausing in between, right? So I would say, if you want to get to if you find that you're really in maintenance and not where you want to be, then go back to that 9-inch plate, especially in your last 3-4 kilo, and say everything after my first plate, I'm going to more sure. I'm going to say, am I still hungry? Am I eating what's maintenance 3 kilo above where I want to be? But the treats and the bites and the licks and the taste might not be the problem if you're saying that it's those days. It's really having your own version of Plate It that worked for you till now, but isn't going to get you to your goal. What do you think?
That, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but when I go there, so then I like start questioning the sustainability of it.
Why? This is super powerful. Everybody really should listen up to this. This is everything. So please be completely honest.
Because I like when I'm doing, like, I say to myself, okay, well, let's say I say to myself, okay, this, like, let's say your example of like a piece of salmon when you were, higher, right? And that it was, you used to have weight loss, and then you realize you need to have a smaller piece of salmon.
Yeah.
So when I do that, I say, okay, well, this is my salmon at X weight, and that's what I have to do. I have that like deprivation and unsatisfied feeling. And then I feel like I won't be able to sustain that. Like, I feel like, okay, I can do it for a week. But then, like, if I go back to my bigger piece, so then I'll just go up again. And so, like,
okay, stay right there. Hold that feeling. Hold that feeling of deprivation and scarcity, right? We all know what scarcity is. It's a word I can use. We all, right? Isn't it scarcity? There's not enough. It's not going to be enough, right? So what if you took that plate of salmon that you're used to eating and that serving size bowl, and you had a 9-inch plate in front of you, and you're like, I can eat all of this. I can't eat all of this if my current body tells me I'm still hungry. Now I'm going to put it on my plate, and I'm just going to enjoy it every single bite. I'm going to enjoy it. And if I want more, I can have more. Maybe it's going to be a piece and a half. Maybe it's going to be a piece and thing. And what might happen is you're like, damn it, I'm actually full. I had my water, or I had my decaf tea, I had my plate of food, but there's still a whole nother plate here left. There's a whole quarter piece of salmon left. Maybe there's a third of that bowl of salad left. And how many of us have been like, F it, I'm just going to eat it. It's just salad and salmon anyway, right? And then we're happy, frustrated, maintaining 3-4 kilo above where we want to be, feeling like we're never going to get there. And I'm coming to you guys to close that gap for you with utter and complete honesty, no BS. It's not about scarcity, it's about abundance. It's about looking at all that food and saying, I can have all of it. If my body actually wants it, am I willing and open to hearing from my body how much it actually wants?
right, I can tell you that I'm totally mindful at dinner, like that I'm eating nice and slow, right? That I cannot say that I am yet.
But you
So,
don't have to do it every time. Again, it's through the transition to feeling safe in whatever your new portion is going to be. For me, in maintenance, my protein portions are higher. They're about back to where they were at 170 versus 135, 140. But that's in maintenance. That's how much to stay full and not want food between things. But when I was losing, I was having more snacks, right? Like I would just have a snack. So it's figuring that out really requires you to commit to say, hey, 2 nights a week, I'm going to be really mindful at dinner and start to pay attention to what my portions are. I'm just going to create a new Plate It for the weight I want to be. That is sustainable because I'm never deprived. I can always have more, but only if my body actually wants more, not my eyes.
Lily, I just want to bring something up while Rena's taking that in on that same thing. And Rena, if I can still use you as an example, okay? Because I think what's really important when we're speaking about the deprivation and scarcity and all that is also reversing, because it's not just always about dinner. Then it's reversing, are the other meals in our day enabling that very often, somehow we don't realize it's coming into our head, and we feel like we actually eat less maybe at lunch, because first half of the day we're like, okay, I got this. This will be enough for me. I can handle this. I may not be that hungry now, so I don't really need my FFC. And then all of a sudden in the afternoon, then we're like, oh, well, now what's my snack? Oh, now maybe I'm feeling like what Lily just said. Like, I love that when you said that, when you said, damn it, I am full. You know, like, I don't know if any of you have felt that, but you also have to reverse back. If you are going to be concentrating on what kind of dinner keeps me full, is you also need to be thinking about the other meals, not in a less is more. Alana will always say it's not about eating less, it's about eating right. So you can't, it's very hard to play both, you know, both sides. You have to embrace all of it. Like everything that Lillian is saying, you have to embrace it for all your meals, and not try to trick yourself into that weight loss mode, let's say by skipping certain things and not doing things the right way, and then all of a sudden blaming dinner, let's say, or see, I was hungry, I needed so much at dinner, or see, I was hungry, I had to have an enormous snack. Also go back to your breakfast and lunches and start seeing what makes sense there.
And again, that's, she's 100% right. But it comes down to what's plated, really what's plated. What's plated? If I'm not having a carb at lunch and breakfast, I'm not really doing plated. I'm not setting myself up to have space for, can everybody be on board that we talk about impulsivity versus spontaneity? Yeah, give me a 1 in the chat if you're ready to move on. Yeah, we ready to move on? Okay. Excellent. I want to hear from everybody. You're engaged, you're here, you're present. Ricky, good. Vita, good. And as Charlotte, where are you? Meryl, Via, where are you guys? Let's make sure everyone's bought in. Maya. Okay. I'd love to hear from somebody who wants to give me in the chat what you think the definition of impulsivity is. Who wants to go? If you want to raise your hand and say it out loud versus in the chat, I'd love to hear what you guys think impulsivity means. Emotional eating. Okay. Nice, Rana. Anybody else? Not thinking things through. Acting in the moment without thinking. Okay. What's spontaneity to you? What's the difference? Knee-jerk reaction. Okay, good. We're going to go through that. Excellent question. A lot of times we don't really know the difference. What to you means spontaneity? Fun. Positive taking, positive talking. Okay. Anybody else? Being able to adjust in the moment. Taking. Making decisions that aren't thought through, that give instant gratification. Okay. We're coming to the end of our time today, but this is a super important point. When we clean up our trackers and we really focus on plated and we remove impulsivity, we create room for spontaneity. Jen, if you don't mind, if I go back to your example of the wedding with the steak, you didn't know going into the wedding that there was going to be steak, right?
So the steak was at La Marais. Now the steak was a planned dinner. That was a different dinner. That was planned. I knew I was going to La Marais, where beautiful steaks, and that was not spontaneous.
Okay. So that was neither impulsive nor spontaneous. Okay. So let's talk about who was it? Maya, I think chocolate chips. Maya, was that you with the chocolate chips? No, who was it here? Melissa with the chocolate chips. I can't see you. Oh, there you are. Yes, it was Melissa with the chocolate chips. So you said, you gave a perfect example of when I'm craving chocolate all day, I'm feeling a craving. If I'm plating all my meals, I can be spontaneous and be like, you know what? I'm really craving chocolate today. If the best chocolate comes my way, I am saying yes to chocolate today. I am going to wait for the absolute best chocolate that could come my way today. And if the best chocolate comes my way, I am saying yes. Impulsivity is the next kind of chocolate that I see, I'm eating because I'm craving chocolate. Impulsivity is not being aware, honestly, of your environment. It's proven if you have chocolate chips in the door of your freezer or somewhere visible in your pantry, you will impulsively eat more chocolate chips. You will create cravings for yourself. I yell it. Is it okay if I mention your nuts? Can I give a little thing there? Impulsivity is there are nuts in front of me and they look amazing. I'm going to take two and leave the bowl on the table. Spontaneity is, oh my gosh, these nuts are amazing. How many do I want to have? Taking that many and making sure you can't have any more. That they're out of reach, away, waiting till the end, delay not deny, using all the other tools to make sure that they're in a trackable, closed, mindful, and enjoyable way. Going all the way to the end of enjoying them, sucking on them, enjoying them, feeling the taste, feeling the texture. I remember the first time Alana described having a thinly sliced green crisp apple after dinner. I like craved apples for like 3 weeks, like that thinly sliced crisp apple that you eat bite by bite. Like, yes, who doesn't love like, or that juicy cup of watermelon? Food is amazing. It's a textual experience. Very often when we're being impulsive, it's in and out. We didn't even enjoy it. When we're being spontaneous, we're open to a joy, fun, really present possibility. Going into the rest of the summer, because we're going to wrap this call, so I want to take questions on this topic and wrap, and we'll continue this conversation throughout the week in the Facebook group. You're not going to be left hanging here. But what I want you to think about is to really think about when I'm on vacation this summer, when I'm going out to eat, when I'm going to events, I want to make sure that my day is plated so there's room for spontaneity. And it doesn't have to be a weight loss day to day, but it's also not a weight gain day. That when I'm being spontaneous, I'm really mindful, really focused, really savoring, present, and just appreciative. And everything else, I'm just cultivating and curating my life to avoid impulsivity as much as possible. A few very quick, very practical tips. Anywhere in my house that there are snacks or snacky things, there are packs of gum and sugar-free sucking candies. Not just for me, but for my whole family. If you go to where my kids keep my favorite brand cinnamon squares, there is a pack of gum there and some sugar-free sucking candies and water enhancers in the same location, like spaced out. Where all my cooking utensils are, there's a pack of mint gum there. Where like in the freezer, there's ice cubes and water and things to remind me of water and frozen vegetables in front of any kind of dessert making things. My whole house, my whole life is designed to reduce impulsivity as much as possible. Taking your water bottle with you there is designed to reduce impulsivity as much as possible. Water first is designed to reduce impulsivity as much as possible. Plating your food rather than eating randomly is designed to reduce impulsivity as much as possible. To be mindset is designed to reduce impulsivity as much as possible so that you have room in your life for spontaneity, for joy, for pleasure, for treats. And that's going to get you to your ideal weight and that life that is full of either super joyful appreciation for the way you're living and eating today that feels amazing, or super joyful appreciation for the things that you're having that are above and beyond what just a healthy, more, what's the word, like people who abstain, they're not deprived, but they're like monks, like that kind of life, like everything above that is like, oh, I'm so indulged. I am so abundant. Like I can eat anything. I can go out at night and have on a date night, I can eat chili cheese fries, Did I have like 2 bites of my husband's chili cheese fries? Yes. But it didn't matter because I had 3 liters of water while I was there, and I ordered the taco salad and I had a plate a day. So like, and I can still have amazing results for my fitness program because I'm plated and my meal and I'm clean between my meals so that I have room for spontaneity. Did you guys feel like you got closer today to understanding what that really feels and looks like? Yeah. My goal today and our intention that we set was to just really move you guys much faster than the hours of journaling and self-help and freaking books and audiobooks that I have listened to over years to make these to get really clear with myself about what's honest and what's true so that I can have the best possible life. And that's what I wanted to do for you guys tonight, was to give you space to get a little faster, to get results a little quicker than I did, and to enjoy life earlier in the process than I let myself do it. So all week, the posts are going to be really simple. They're going to be a question. I'd love you guys on Tuesday to tell your story of things that you've accomplished and things you've achieved so far on your journey with the group. They're going to be short. These are not long explanation posts, but what they should be is conversation starters. Ask questions, engage, start to think like you did today. And you're going to be surprised at how much that process speeds up your results. We have 5 minutes left till 9 o'clock. I'm happy to take any final questions that anybody has. Probably maybe 1 or 2 final questions. Anybody want to ask something on impulsivity versus spontaneity? Yael, Hendy, I know you've been talking about you were struggling. Does this give you a little clarity on starting fresh versus what used to work before to who you are and what's working now? Thank you so much, Vita. Thank you, thank you, Meryl, Sarah, Charlotte. Anybody have like a Rona, Ricky, a final question? Is Jen, is that your hand raised?
Yeah.
Amazing. Go for it.
So I just want to clarify, when you said like were spontaneous and had those fries and you perfectly plated it and drank water, then I'm curious, was your expectation that tomorrow when you're eating that, were you consciously, okay, tomorrow the scale will not go down? Well, you're also maintenance, but I'm curious.
No,
But
yeah, but even still, I could be, you know, pound up a mace, but down, but I am completely unhooked. I know that if I want to expect a weight loss outcome, it's plated, it's a clean day, it's 5 liters of water, and if I'm hungrier that day, the snack is veggies and protein. That's what it is. If I do that.
You can't allow for those moments of spontaneity, is what you're saying.
Yeah, so I can allow for it because I know what I'm getting and I'm not going up anymore. For so long in maintenance, it was up 2-3 kilo, down 2-3 kilo, up 2-3 kilo, down. It's like carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. Like, is this ever going to get easier? It got easier when I got clearer, when I made peace with my 9-inch plate and stopped eating from every time. I still sometimes impulsively take the serving size salad bowl to make my salad. I put it back. I take the smaller salad bowl, or I take the big salad bowl. I ask who else wants salad. And then I take a plate, and I very often take seconds of the big salad. Or if you guys see my dinner plates, I have 3 bowls or 2 plates.
So Lily, I just want to ask you a question about the salad, because if you see Alana post, she has these ginormous bowls. Like, she's not eating from a 9-inch plate, clearly. So,
and she has ginormous bowls. You also see, she says many times she puts those back in the fridge and takes them out later in the day and eats more later in the day and puts them back and takes them out again. And she doesn't eat between meals then. And she talks a lot about where she's holding in different stages of whether she's in maintenance and whether she's in weight loss, and, you know, and whether she's going up 3 kilo or down again, or she's in maintenance, or all kinds of things. And there's nothing wrong with finishing that big bowl of salad. But if you can eat the big bowl of salad without, right? Like, if your body actually needs it, just finish it, but just do it 1 plate at a time. And that's what she does say, is having more, having your water, having your things. And again, as the more that you're used to it, the more you really know what you need, right? Like, I know that when I'm having my 9-inch plate, I'm having a bowl of raw veggies next to it. Because I just know I'm prepared for that. I'm gonna drink water in between, but I know how much I'm gonna eat. Like you just know. So you might know you're gonna finish that whole big bowl of salad, but give yourself space to enjoy it, to put it on your plate, to drink your water, and then take more. Just pausing to take more increases your pleasure. It is psychologically more pleasurable to take seconds than to take a bigger portion. And this should be about having the absolute best life with the most pleasure, not the most deprivation, right, Rena? To get there from pleasure, from abundance.
I guess, I mean, the truth is that a lot of the times, like on Shabbos, I write in my tracker, I'm only going to eat one plate, because that like gives me the feeling that I have control, as opposed to allowing myself, maybe I'll take more, and that doesn't put me in a good place. So
So again, if you're going to say one plate, what size is the plate? Right?
That's 9 inches is smaller than the regular plate.
9 inches was a standard plate size until 10 years ago, when everyone in America became overweight and they increased the plate size.
But also a lot of our, whoever still has like their, you know, like their china that they got, like their shop, very often like that has the lip and then the inner is
It's 9
usually 9 inches. You know,
Mine
you're not
is.
going to have a 12-inch with, you know, with the lip. Very often those newer, larger plates are the ones that are the complete plate that are larger without then the additional lip, because that would just look like a charger.
Right.
So,
It's something to think about, right? It's something to think about. Just let it sit. Let it sit. Like abundance for you on Shabbos is one plate of food. So then why during the week do we have to eat from like a serving size salad bowl?
well, that's actually what I wanted to ask. Rena, when you said on Shabbos you write down you're only going to have one plate, is that abundance or is that deprivation? Meaning, what is that doing for you when you're writing down, I'm only having one plate on Shabbos? Is that a good feeling or not a good feeling? Do you stick to that? Do you not stick to that? Does it feel good? Does it not feel good?
Right, but I write it down because I want to stick to it, and then I usually do stick to it, and it's a good feeling.
So then that's exactly the point. Take that into the week. And then maybe are you more mindful when you're eating on Shabbos because you're slowed down, because you're with other people, you're taking your time. And during the week, you feel like you need the extra volume because you're really only paying attention to 1 out of 7 bites. Something to think about. This is all food for thought to help you close the gap faster and to get where you really want to be and ask the right questions. Yep, she's giving an example. Vita, go ahead, see you. And then we're going to sign off here tonight. I can't hear you. Hold on, you got to unmute yourself.
Okay, the center of this plate from this edge to this edge, not the border, I mean,
Right?
inner border, is 7 inches. This plate was purchased like 45 years ago. I wanted to get replacements because after 45 years, there are some that break. The plate did not match in size. The same company, the same label on the back, but I didn't get them because I didn't want the bigger plate. So I didn't get them. I don't know what I'm going to do. But the point is that I can attest to the fact that the plates are bigger now.
And it's really a psychological change that they made that is reflected in all of our bodies, and like everybody's, even what we think of as a low weight or a healthy weight, is 10, 15 pounds higher. And you can, I'm not going to be so scientific, but you can look this up. There is a correlation, not causation, a correlation between every added inch and about 10 to 15 pounds. Okay. You're eating a 12-inch plate. You might be 10 to 15 pounds every 2 inches, 2 inches. You might be 10 to 15 pounds above where you would be if you were eating the same food from a 9-inch plate. Okay. Something to think about. Why the average weight of people is higher when they're eating from bigger plates.
It's crazy.
Food for thought for tonight. Thank you guys so much for your time. Our time is our greatest resource. Have a good night. Go enjoy. Have a mindful, joyful, wonderful day and a beautiful and amazing summer. Welcoming in a new month starting this week.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.